Is a video streaming service an on-demand service? What about a ride-hailing app? Is that on-demand? Or what about this? What about a landscaping or gardening service? Is that on-demand? Let's talk about it and understand how to market them. I'm Irshad, partner at Dropkick Copy. We are Olympic level direct response marketers, World Federation champions. We touch all levels of the funnel, but it's the bottom of the funnel and retention that interests us the most. In the description box below is a link to videos where my partner interviews clients of ours. You can watch that, but first let's continue with the rest of this video. An on-demand service is different from a project-based service because, like a project-based service usually involves the delivery of some sort of tailored solution. And the delivery takes time. The demand for project-based service is infrequent. But when you commit to solve a project service, somebody with a project requirement, the commitment is long. So demand is infrequent, commitment is long. In an on-demand service, demand is frequent, but the commitment is short. Usually the on-demand service is some sort of a quick fix thing. You buy now, it's a one-time purchase, and then the service is completed within a day sometimes, or less than a week. A one-time service is different from a recurring service as well, because because of the payment terms. In a recurring service, the payment terms is that you're paying in advance for multiple uses of something. You're either paying in advance or you're paying at fixed routine times. And sometimes the rate itself is negotiable. The payment terms matter. In an on-demand service, the payment terms are different. You're paying one time. One time for a one-time use. And it's usually a fixed rate, non-negotiable. That's the difference. The interesting thing about an on-demand service is that the bulk of your marketing messages is focused towards getting people to repeatedly use the service and retain them. That's your primary objective. All the nurturing is necessary. But the thing is, because the frequency of demand is so high, once you get somebody to try it one time, you'll get them locked in. Once they're aware your service does solve the problem and it's a good service, you don't need to keep hitting them back to kind of nurture them, right? They're just kind of gonna go with the flow as long as the service standard stays the same, right? And word of mouth drives the message spreading. So if you think about the ride-hailing apps you use, most likely it was recommended to you by word of mouth. Like when you travel to a foreign country, if you know somebody, you're like, hey man, is there any kind of, do they have Uber? What do they have? Oh, they have Grab Taxi? Okay, cool. I'll use Grab Taxi. That's all. That was a word of mouth scene. And that's because somebody else has already been nurtured to try Grab Taxi or Uber, and they've seen it works and they're recommending it to you, right? So word of mouth helps getting people trying the app. So nurturing isn't the priority. The priority is the retention and the repeat usage, and also winning back people. The other interesting thing about these on-demand services is that they tend to get productized fast because it's a quick service. It's a one-time service. People want to know what they're getting and get it at a flat fee. And there's less selection involved, less thinking involved, so they'll want it productized. And because of the demand frequency, a lot of people are interested in getting in this lane, so things become commodified fast. So you start looking interchangeable with each other. All the service providers start looking interchangeable with each other. It's also interesting to note that because it's an on-demand service, it tends to service local needs. So within a locality, within a country, within a city, within a region, competition is super tight. And people are hopping from one service provider to another at any given time. There's very little to work with to give you an edge. All right, so putting all that into consideration is why I was saying the bulk of your attention, your focus, your marketing efforts is going to go towards repeat sales, creating retention, reducing churn, winning back customers you've lost, developing loyalty, and increasing the overall lifetime value per customer, lifetime value you can extract per customer. So let's talk about how that can be achieved. I mean, let's go over the nurturing part though. You're trying to get people that take a chance on you for the first time. So what I feel is like you want to find out why they haven't tried you already. So that's going to involve surveys, questionnaires, interviews. You want to create some sort of, if you're marketing, it would be, you can run ads to get people to fill things in, or go out there and, physically meet people. You can do things like that, or scrape Reddit or scrape through X. You want to do some research, find out why people haven't tried yet. If you can create incentives for people to try it out for the first time, that is good too. So that's going to influence your marketing materials and messaging. Once you find out why people aren't trying it yet, that's going to allow you to decide what type of messaging you need for those to nurture people. I know someone who hasn't to this day tried a local ride hailing app just because they're afraid of giving their credit card information away. What they do is they get me to book the rides for them. They recognize the value of the ride-hailing app and the convenience, but they refuse to put it on their own phone. They get somebody else to do it. Why? Because they don't like giving their card away. You know what I mean? Imagine if you were the ride-hailing app that knew this. You could market to them. You see what I mean? So let that be the first thing you look at. Getting people to try the app or the service for the first time. The other thing you want to do, again, this is related to getting people to try things for the first time. You want to make it easy to compare yourself versus competitors, compared to what it would be like if you don't use the app. So, this is where visuals work. Quick visuals, rate cards, some sort of dashboard, some sort of chart. Quick, easy to digest information that will make it clear that, using the app is, using the app or service is good, it's okay, this is the advantage, understand. So I'd say you wouldn't value build so much, you wouldn't try to push out value more, you would push out the features and deliverables. Usually if you watch the rest of these videos, you'll see I talk about leading with value first. Here the value differentiation isn't so high, because everything's just kind of productized and commodified. So just straight up talk about the features and the deliverables, and talk about the what's competitive about you. You're usually going to compete on things like price and speed. Right? So you got to put that out there. That's going to inform your marketing messages. The other thing I'd say is, and this applies not just for nurturing but also retention and stuff, it's like you want to go hard with the direct response copy. You want to sell hard. There's no need to be flowery with the language and stuff, and you want to optimize. You want to be very optimized for conversions, whatever that means to you. That means to me, that means the copy needs to be tested. You follow best practices, what the buttons look like, where things are positioned visually, ease of checkout. All of that matters. You want to be optimized for conversion, optimized for checkout. All that stuff needs to be applied, because it's an on-demand service. I want it now. So you want to speed that up, and you want to convince them then and then. You want to make it easy to service their need. Speaking of copy, the directness and the effectiveness and the optimization of the copy, that's going to work. You're going to need that to work for your SMS too. You will not be reaching out to people through their email. You'll be reaching out to people through phone, most likely, for this, because it's the nature of the service. It's on demand, it's quick. You want to just gently remind people that you exist, and you have special offers going on and whatnot. People will use your service and they have no problem switching to another person's service. There's no real loyalty here. It's very difficult to keep people's loyalty, but that doesn't mean they'll switch over and stay with somebody else. You can win them back. People are using these services interchangeably, and they're comparing prices all the time. So there is always opportunity for you to win people back if the messaging is right and reaches them at the right time and says the right things. So you got to know what that is, right? That's what I mean. Your copy needs to be good. The direct response nature, the optimization of your copy is going to matter in your marketing messaging. You can address churn as well with your marketing messages if you reach into the customer service side of your business. If there's any kind of voice of customer data there, that will let you know why people are churning out. Make it clear and apparent to you. Once it's apparent to you, you can solve it, and then let the solution, the fact that you solved it, be apparent in your marketing messaging too. And lastly, even though this is an on-demand service where demand is frequent, you it's in your best interest to get people on some sort of recurring payment plan with you, because it stabilizes MRR, and people might pay things in advance, which is also good. So develop referral programs, loyalty programs, and incentives that keep people coming back to you. What you're also trying to do is create a situation where the cost of them switching to somebody else is more. So the more they integrate their lifestyle with your on-demand service, the less they feel like switching to somebody else. You know, it's like with these what you call streaming services. If all their favorite shows are on one streaming service, they're just gonna, if they're a big fan of a certain franchise and that show is on a specific streaming platform, they're just going to stick to that streaming platform. The moment it moves, they're going to switch loyalty, right? That type of thing is there. So you want to play into that, and that's going to influence your marketing messaging. If you have those types of programs in place, those types of offers in place, let people know and get people on that, because that helps your business and stabilizes your monthly revenue. Okay, so notice how we're not really talking about marketing the value so much, even though your service is obviously valuable, but things are productized, right? So you're just straight up you're emphasizing convenience, competitiveness on price, features, deliverables, that type of thing. And you're just trying to give people incentives to stick with you, while maintaining a general baseline level of quality of service and nurturing new prospects to try your service for the first time. That's it. Right, so just to conclude, just because you're servicing on-demand needs doesn't mean that's all you're doing. You know, if you have the ability to serve that, you might have the ability to service recurring needs, like we mentioned. So each frequency of need influences the type of marketing messages you put out there. Each pricing model influences the type of marketing messages you put out there. That's basically, it's up to you to decide. And ultimately, you're trying to create a hybrid model, a hybrid business model, so you're not dependent on just one type of demand. All right, I hope this helps. Watch the other videos I've put together on this subject. I've talked about project-based services, seasonal services, as well as recurring services in another video. Check those out. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.